All right, guys, welcome back. I haven't done any work on the car for like 2 weeks. Life intervenes. But basically, all the front accessories are off. The harmonic balancer is off, rack and pinion. So we just got to pull out the cam and take off the heads. But it's not that easy. So first, we're gonna remove the. Well, first we'll disconnect this one cam sensor wire right there. Remove the bolts that hold on the timing chain cover. Alright, so let me get started and I'll be back. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, you're going to remove these, I believe there's 10 millimeter bolts. Just a regular 10 millimeter socket. And then you have these on the upper half, and then on the bottom you have two more that run through the oil pan. See this bump right there? Underneath the oil pan, you have one coming up through the oil pan into the timing chain cover, and then you have another one on the other side. So we'll save those for last. And I'm going to disconnect this one wire. No big deal, just pull back on the tab and knock it off. And then this should be free. Alright, I'll be back. Alright guys, I got the upper bolts off. I'm going to work on the two bottom bolts, but of course, this being a Corvette, there's absolutely no room to work. So there they are right there. So you can't get a wrench or a socket in here. Maybe you can with a couple of swivel ends. But I'm going to have to go from over top with a little wrench and then work them loose. That one and that one. So it's going to be a couple of minutes, but I'll be back. If I come up with any tricks on how to make this easier, I'll let you guys know. Alright, I'll be back. Alright guys, I got the two bottom ones out. I guess we could go back up top and pull it off now, the timing chain cover. Alright, I'll be back. Alright guys, all the bolts are off, and we're going to pull it off now. Nice and easy, no rush. There we go. It's off. Not too bad. Alright guys, so that's how you take the timing chain cover off. Alright, I'll be back. Alright guys, welcome back. So I got the front timing chain cover off before. Now I'm going to remove the valve cover. Then I will unbolt. Well, actually, I'm sorry. First I'm going to disconnect the headers, pull them out. They slide out from the bottom and they slide back in. On the passenger side, this being a dry sump motor, I just have to remove the dry sump oil lines that go to the block. That go to the oil pan. Then I could pull out the header on the passenger side. And there's no issues on the driver's side. That one will just pull out. Once I get the headers out, then I'm going to undo these 4 bolts, pull off the valve cover. Then I will unbolt the rocker arms. I'll remove them one by one. Then I will remove the push rods. And then we're going to be ready to remove the cylinder head. So I'm going to remove the cylinder head. The cylinder heads first. I'm going to leave the cam connected to the timing chain, connected to the crank. I took out the spark plugs. I was turning the engine over by hand. So the spark plugs are in good shape. I did the Procharger. The car had 2,500 miles. It's got 8,000 now. So these are TR6s. I'm going to replace it with the same, the V-groove. They're in good shape. But alright, so I'm going to take off the headers. You got these bolts right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the front 6. So, and then you got 2 bolts holding the headers to the Y pipe underneath. Alright, so I'll be back. Okay, I'm underneath the car. Here's two nuts and bolts that I just have to undo to get the header out. Undo this clamp, and then undo these two nuts. And these are the dry sump oil lines. Oh, there you go, there you have it. Alright, let me get started, more work. I'm sorry guys, I get ahead of myself. I get excited to try to make progress, but yeah, you also have to take out the oxygen sensors. And one up there. And one over there. Or you could just unplug them at their source. Or wait, up there, I'm sorry. Alright, I'll be back. As I said before, I was going to take the headers off. I'm going to try not to remove them. I'm going to unbolt them, yes, from the cylinder head, but I'm not going to take them out of the car. I'll try to do this in as few steps as possible to save time. It's just going to be another pain in the ass to get it out. Sorry, another pain in the neck to get it out. So I'll try to tie them up and out of the way on both sides rather than take them out. We'll see how it goes. Alright, I'll be back. I'll take this header out. Use cheap ass header material, and basically the header material like melted and stuck to one side of the head, which doesn't matter because the head's coming off, but then it also stuck to the other side of the header, and that would have been really hard to clean the crap off the header with the header just, you know, hanging there, so I had to take it out. We'll see how the passenger side goes. Alright guys, I'll be back. Alright guys, welcome back. We are finally going to take off the cylinder heads. I'm on the driver's side of the car. Driver's side cylinder head, obviously. So the first thing we're going to do, we got to remove the steam vent line. That's a 10mm bolt. So just undo that 10mm bolt and one over on the other side and just take this off. I'm not going to be using this factory steam vent system anymore. I'll explain to you later why. So the first thing we're going to do is, after we remove the steam vent, then we're going to remove the rocker arm bolts. Those are 8mm. Now it's always a good idea not to, see how the third rocker arm is down, it's pushing down, so the spring has tension on it. So I'm going to skip that one, and I'm going to skip the 8th one all the way in the back. That one's starting to push down on the spring. The rest are pretty much all the way up and the valves are closed. So I'm going to loosen all of these, skipping the 8th one and the 3rd one. Try to show you. It's hard to tell, but you can see the spring is compressed there. And then after I loosen them, I'll spin the motor over via the crank, and when this spring no longer has pressure on it, I will then undo this rocker arm bolt, and the same will apply for the 8th one and all the way in the back. And then we are going to remove the head bolts and pull this thing off. Finally, we're getting there. Now to help you guys out, I did another one of my ghetto drawings, so forgive me, but this is to help you guys out. Removal of driver side head. Front of motor, back of motor. Front of motor, back of motor. This is the sequence you want to follow when removing the cylinder head. This sequence is different from when you're installing the head and torquing the bolts down. As you could pretty much tell, when you're removing the cylinder head on the driver's side, you're working from the outside in. You can see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're working from outwards, inwards. And then when you torque the cylinder head, you're going to start from the center and work your way out. So this is the pattern that I'm going to follow. It works for me. Maybe you guys should consider it. So there it is. Pretty ghetto. That's to help you guys out. And then what I'll do is, now I'm not reusing these stock factory torque to yield bolts, but I know some of you guys are. I don't recommend doing that. They're only intended to be used once. But then what I'll do is, as I remove each bolt, I could then stick them in the cardboard here where they go. And then if I were to be using the same heads and the head bolts, I know exactly where they go. Okay, I removed the steam vent tube. I loosened up all of the nuts. As I said, I spun the engine over to remove the tension off of this spring, and then I loosened them. And you could pull these off one at a time, or you could pull them off. As you can see, they sit on a rocker shaft. And you could pull them all off at once via the rocker shaft, or you could pull them off one at a time. But if you do pull them off one at a time, just do that. Take a piece of cardboard, label them up. This way you know where they go, and it's always better to put things where they originally came from. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I got them out. They're sitting over there. Now I'm going to pull out the push rods. And again, I made one of these. I will stick them in the corresponding holes, one by one, even though I'm not using them. I'm trying to help you guys out, so I hope you appreciate this. Thanks, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top. Yes, I'm leaving these lines here. I'm going to remove those 10mm bolts in this order, and then I'm going to remove the 15mm head bolts. And hopefully the next clip will be the cylinder head sitting over there. Alright guys, wish me luck, I'll be back. If I run into any snags, I'll let you know. But this should be pretty straightforward. I'll be back. Alright, well, there it is. Driver's side cylinder head is off. That's quite a workout. You know, leaning over the car, and those things are torqued pretty tight. But there they are. There are my pistons. A little dirtier than I was hoping for. I'm not happy about that. This thing was probably running very rich. Well, look at the cylinder walls in great shape. Look at that cross hatching. Now I'm going to take out the lifter trays and the lifters. It's just a 10mm bolt right there. And then the lifters will come out in the lifter trays. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so I got the lifters out and the lifter trays. No issues, no snags. You just got to be careful. See this locating pin? So one of them remained, the one that goes back there, remained in the cylinder head. But you could just pry that out, it's no big deal. But you're going to need them when you install your heads back on. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I got to tie these wires just out of the way somehow. Just don't want them getting in the way. They weren't in the way, so if you do it like this, that's fine. But I just don't want them dipping into all the oil and grease. Alright, I'm going to do the other side, but I'm not going to film it because it's just going to be repetitive. Just take your time. It's a bit of a workout. The head bolts are on, the 15mm head bolts are on. They're pretty tight. So if you got bad shoulders, arm, or back, you're going to feel it. I'm feeling it myself. Alright guys, I'll be back. Okay, so we got the passenger side cylinder head off and all the other components that go along with it. As you can see, I pretty much labeled everything. And there it is. So now to get the camshaft off, we just have to remove the oil pump. We got 4 bolts, 2 on each side. I'm going to see if I could wiggle this oil pump off without having to lower the oil pan. Because there's a dry sump motor, so that's a different pump than on your wet sump motors. If you could see, the pump is actually integrated into the oil pan, and it has some channels / passages that are molded into the oil pan and the oil pump. So we're going to take the oil pump off, then we're going to loosen those 3 bolts on the cam sprocket, and then we could pull off the oil pump. Well, let's see how that goes. You know, some people say you could wiggle this off slowly and gently, but you got to be careful because you have seals down there. You don't want to break them. Let me get started on that and I'll be back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I got the oil pump out. Let me show you what has to be done, because a lot of people talk a lot of shit out there. Okay, it's off. Some people say you don't have to loosen the oil pan bolts. You could just pull it off. No, not happening. I loosened every oil pan bolt, and it only took like 20 minutes. It wasn't bad. Basically, this is the most important tool. Where is it? You need a little swivel, of course, and a small 10 millimeter. And some extensions, and you can get to the ones that are difficult. Like these right here in the front, I had to use a small 10 millimeter wrench to get them, and you only got like a 1/4 of a turn at a time. And then, hold on. That one back there, where is it? That one back there, and that one back there. Those were the hard ones. But I had to work my way all the way to the back. I had to remove this cover. Where is it? I had to remove that cover that goes there. I loosened up that one. I loosened up these 2 on the bottom. So basically I loosened them all up. I just didn't touch these 2 that are in the back of the bell housing that go to the back of the oil pan. And I loosened them about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. Couple of turns. You can see over in there. So I loosened them up, and then I was able to pull down about 1/8 of an inch on the front here. Slip my hand in like this, grabbed it, pulled down, and that gave enough clearance, and then the oil pump just pulled right off. So now let's get the cam off, the cam gear, the thrust plate, remove the chain, pull out the cam, and we will finally be done with the disassembly part. Oh, thank God. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I got the timing chain and the cam gear off. Just want to show you guys, this is the camshaft thrust plate, and this doesn't let the cam come out. See? Prevents it from coming out. All right, let me get them off. You got 4 Torx bolts, and that's it, and then we'll pull it out. Okay, you're going to use a T40 torque bit, and that's it with a ratchet. I'll be back. Alright, camshaft is ready to come out. Let's see if I can try to film this. Alright, here we go. Let's get this bitch out. Here we go. You know what? Where are those water pump bolts? I got 2 bolts from the water pump. I'm going to thread them in. act as a handle. Just go slow. Try not to bounce the cam off the bearings. It's not basketball. Here we go. When you get stuck, just turn it and apply a little pressure. Sometimes you gotta go in a little bit, push it in, and then pull it out. My back is killing me. Ugh. Okay. Come on out, bitch. Come on. Come to Papa. I'm gonna probably, yeah, I'm gonna take off the water pump bolts now, because I'm probably gonna run into the AC condenser. I can move that around, but it's sitting nice. I don't want to put stress on the lines that are running to it because I didn't take them out. It's sitting on the frame for the frame that supports the intercooler and all that. Alright, here we go.